Thank you. First of all, I want to say thank you to Ryan and his family. Excuse me, he was whatever you could describe him as, hardworking, tenacious, grit and soul kind of a hockey player. He was terrific. I think the guy that's coming in helps us advance a little farther than we expected to this year. It's not often you get a chance to acquire a guy like Marty St. Louis, who's a dynamic player in his own right. Questions?
When negotiating for Callie, how do you factor in his intangibles, from one number, his intangibles monetarily? Can you even do that?
Well, it's complicated. I mean, if you and I were negotiating a contract with someone, there's a lot of variables into it. You've got to make a decision about the value that the player brings to your club, or brings to another club, or brings to himself. And at some point when you're negotiating, you have to say no, or you say yes. And in this case, we had to say no because it got too far down the line to come back. And at some point when you negotiate a contract, you get to an end point where you can't go any farther, and we were there, and that's where it had to stop.
Glenn, does Marty strike you as the kind of player who have greater longevity than the average 38-year-old?
Well, he certainly looks like it. I mean, he's in tremendous shape. I know that he lives in Connecticut. He worked out with Brad Richards all summer. Everything that I've been told about him is he's a dynamic specimen as far as his conditioning is concerned. He works very hard at it. He's dedicated. He's always been the hardest working guy in every team he's been on. But I don't think that's going to change here. I think it's going to be an inspiration to everybody in our club.
Do you think this team now is a legitimate contender for the Stanley Cup this year?
There's a lot of contenders right now. I mean, if you look around the league, it's very close in each conference. Where we sit right now is very close, and hopefully this is going to put us over the edge. It's going to make us a little closer to achieving our goal.
Glenn, at what point did you say we have to pull the trigger on this trade? And was any other team close? I mean, we were talking to other. What was Plan B? You couldn't get another.
I had another deal. I mean, this wasn't the only deal. I couldn't think that the deal was going to get done with Tampa, or it wasn't going to get done. So in the meantime, I had another deal in place, and this one turned out to be a better deal for us right now. The other one would have been more in the future. But either way, Ryan would have gone in this trade.
And you made that final decision yesterday?
No, it was made this morning. Yeah, when we were, I mean, this has been talked about for a long time. It's not something that happened over the last day or two. This has been going on for quite a while. And they're complicated to trade two players like this. First time any two captains have ever been traded, for each other. And they're both very good players. They're different players in their own right. But I just didn't think that we could go as far as Ryan's agent wanted us to go in negotiating this deal, and we had to get out of it at some point, so we decided to do that. And it leaves our future a little more open down the road.
You talk about the future, and you say you're a better team. If you are a better team, there's a better chance that you could wind up sending 2 first-round picks to them. Does the loss of 2 first-round picks in this year and next year, would that concern you in terms of the long-term health of the franchise?
Yeah, it does. But there's even drafting a first-round pick. Where these guys are going to be placed is not going to give you any kind of guarantee. If you know anything about the draft that's coming up this year, I don't think there's a lot of guys that are going to play in the National Hockey League in the next 2 or 3 years. And we had an opportunity to do this. We made the decision. This was the right time to do it.
Well, in terms of chemistry, were you worried at all about the chemistry, trading your captain in this situation?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Ryan is a good guy, and he's well respected in the organization and the fans. It's difficult to make that decision to trade him, and especially when you're worried about how it's going to affect your team. We're either going to come out and play very well tonight because we're excited we have a new guy in our lineup, or we're going to play poorly because we're upset and depressed. But these guys are all professionals, and they have to, you know, they have to suck it up. And it's the way it is. The deal is done. It's not going to change.
Glenn, were you guys in the contract negotiations, were you close enough with Callahan on the money and a no trade was what got in the way, or did you guys never get close to the money?
Well, we were getting closer in the money, but when this thing started, it was 8 years and an awful lot of money for Ryan Callahan, or for anybody else, as a matter of fact. Unless you're a first all-star team, a player that's won Stanley Cups, I mean, there's lots of things that fall into that. This situation, the no trade is the one thing that really bothered me in the end. And I mean, if you look at what's going on today with some of the other players that are being talked about, you give too much away when you give that no trade contract out there. It really ties your hands. I know it's nice for the players to have security, but no trade, no yell at is a tough deal.
You talk a little bit about that, the other deal you made today with kind of bolstering the defense core, what you got out of that?
Well, Diaz played in Montreal last year. I thought he was very. We tried to make a deal for him last year when he was in Montreal. Raphael is a good puck mover. He's first pass guy. He's playing the power play. 5th round pick in 15. I think it's a good deal for us for insurance.
And if you had agreed with Callahan, would you have still been in play for St. Louis?
Pardon me?
Would you still have been in play for trying to get Marty St. Louis?
If what?
If you had agreed with Callahan on a contract?
No. No.
Are you, I know it's early, are you looking at the possibility that if St. Louis and Richards click, that Richards could be on this team past this year?
I wish this mic was a crystal ball, but it's not. I can't answer that question. That's total fabrication, hypothetical, whatever you want to call it.
I guess I'm wondering if it was crossing your mind as you were acquiring one of his best friends and the guy he wants to talk with.
No.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.